Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Adrian. I run a Turo business here in Southern California. I actually started my Turo journey between jobs, and the reason why I started it is I actually rented on Turo and I saw some potential with this platform. So while I was between jobs, my friend needed to sell her car. So I purchased it and started off with that first car. And to my surprise, put it on a platform and rarely saw it again. It was during summer where it was a very high season. So I kind of got lucky with timing there. So after a while, I wanted to grow this because I was seeing the success. So I brought my number up to 4 cars, and I then got a 9-to-5 job. I was able to operate these 4 cars while I had the 9-to-5 job fairly easily, and I was also able to travel while doing this. So 4 cars, definitely something that's doable, and it's something that I see as a good transition point to whether you decide you want to go in more seriously and make a serious business out of it, or the point you just want to make the money from those cars and call it a day or start another project. So when I decided to go full time, I realized I needed to focus entirely on the end-to-end process of the business. A Turo business consists of vehicle acquisition, reconditioning, operation, and disposition. So breaking this down, the most important part of Turo is the acquisition phase. And I've analyzed every single portion of this business, and I wholeheartedly think that the investment of learning about cars, the industry, where cars come from, the type of damage that can occur from natural usage and also accidents is very important. So why should you even believe anything or think that I'm a credible source? Well, I'm a car enthusiast, and I combine that with my background as a product manager in tech. That means that I have to analyze different business models, ideas, and string together the necessary components to monetize software, any sort of asset. So before I even got started, I created a very large model. I basically made some assumptions like utilization, the cost of acquisition, the maintenance, and the potential daily revenue I'll get from it. And I actually shot low, and when I bought the first car, I realized that this business was viable. And that's how I actually confirmed and expanded my car acquisition process. So this mindset of obtaining cheap cars could lead you down to purchasing cars that may not actually be a good fit just due to their history. So I want to talk about where cars come from, how cars enter in the market, and and potential sources of additional information so you can get educated before you go out there and buy your cars. So there are different types of dealers. There's a franchise dealers that, there are large lots that they get vehicles from the manufacturers. These dealers, they get an allotment every single year of new vehicles. They also get trade-ins, and they will sell those as well. And that you would also get the cars back from leases, and they'll sell those as used vehicles as well. So with franchise dealers, I think that there is a little bit less risk because their brand name is on the car. They may also offer better certified programs where maybe there's a warranty that comes along with that certification. The people that I would be the most concerned about would be the independent or private dealers. So these dealers have a license to sell cars to the public, and it's not incredibly hard to get these. So you have a range of these independent or private dealers, and some of them have a sizable lot. Some of them are just people who have a license and are flipping cars. There are different state limits, but as a private person, I can only sell a certain number of cars per year before I am required to have a dealer's license. And because there is a large auto market, some people who are, the smaller private dealers, they will maybe not do as good a job reconditioning the cars. So how do these private dealers get vehicles? Well, some of the largest ones, they offer trade-in programs, and you're familiar with that. But some of them also get vehicles from auctions. So not all vehicles coming from auctions are bad. Some of them are repoed by banks and they're totally functional and in good condition. Some of them are repoed by tow yards and sold to auctions where the car is actually functional. So there are some good cars on auctions, and I'm not saying that all cars on auctions are bad. The ones I worry about are the ones that have a clean title because for whatever reason the car is not reported in an accident, and you have these private dealers going in and buying these cars from auctions at a steep discount, maybe at $1,000 or $2,000, and then they'll fix it up and resell it on the market with the clean title for $7,000, $10,000. And if you don't know what you're doing, you could buy one of these cars with a lot of potential issues in it and be stuck with a car that can't make you any money. You're spending time repairing it, and you're also spending more money than you anticipated getting the car up to the standard that you need it to be successful. So I think that all in all, it is good to get educated on how cars can get repaired. And there are a ton of videos on YouTube of people actually going through the entire process of wheeling in this destroyed car into their shop, spending weeks or a month getting the car up to incredible shape and selling the car for an immense amount of money. I'm not saying that these people cannot repair the cars and have it operable in a way where you won't have any issues, but I personally have acquired vehicles where it has clearly had damage. It does not have any damage reported on the Carfax, and it has required me to put in more money to get the car up to standards. So when I talk about this, I want to just raise a flag for people who are trying to go into Turo, trying to buy their first couple cars, and they may not know about the way that the car industry works, and especially with auctions. And this also will let you filter out and assess your risk based on the person you're buying it from. I typically on Facebook Marketplace would look at the seller's profile and see if they have a bunch of other cars. I definitely look at the ratings, and I would definitely make sure that when you buy a vehicle that the wear on the car matches the miles that you're buying it from. My number one thing I use when I buy cars is an advanced DTC code reader, and I would recommend getting one that is $400 or so. It's a small investment if you're going to go in and buy used cars. One bad car can cost you way more than $400. Furthermore, if you have this device, you can actually repair some cars on your own. So I would go onto YouTube, look at people who flip cars and the things they do to repair them. I would look at full rebuilds. I would look at how people repaint car damage. I would look at just overall the whole process of flipping cars, and you can look at different magnitudes of car fixes. So this isn't really to scare anybody, because I know that you can repair cars and get them into a good state, especially the economy cars. They're less complicated, they have less electronics and less sensors, and that's another reason why buying used cars for economy cars is definitely the best strategy. It's not just from an economic standpoint, it's from the fact that repairing these cars after they've been through serious damage it's easier to get them into a state that is pretty reliable. So anyways, just wanted to give these tips out there, and hopefully everyone benefits from this information. And if you like the content, smash the subscribe button. And if this gets more views than I think, then I'll make more content on my whole process about Turo, the lessons I've learned, how I operate, the financial estimates I've made versus what I'm making, and also the biggest pitfalls that you see. I think that there are a good amount of videos out there on this, but I do know that there are also a lot of people talking about Turo, overstating their income, saying how easy it is, and all these inflated statements to get followers. But at the end of the day, it's another business. It's a grind. It requires dedication, and it is not hands off. It is not something like a set it and forget it sort of thing. I think that anyone who says that any business is set it, forget it, they're just trying to get your view and you're clicking your attention. And at that point, I just basically disregard all the information that's coming from it, because they're trying to take my attention and not actually trying to educate me on what's actually important.